What's cracking, big dogs? Welcome back to the headquarters. This is the Fade the Public podcast. My name is Nicholas. That is Animal. That is Snacks. I told y'all we'd have a table. We are still obviously in the midst of building the table.
Mid-construction.
Yeah, it'll be very, very beautiful when we're finally done with. Sorry, that threw me off. When we're finally done with building it, the boomstick has a mind of its own. It's always ready to fucking pump out content, and so are we. Obviously, we want to address the situation at hand. The protests around the country have gotten to a point where they have taken over our lives for the most part, and it would be remiss of us not to address them, but we don't want to talk too much about the topic. We're here to provide you with entertainment. We're here to provide you with value. If you do want to hear a more in-depth thought process of, I probably speak for most of them in my podcast on the Why You Yellin' podcast, which will be linked down below. But overall, general sense of things, please just stay safe. Please just don't be a racist piece of shit, and you are cool with us. We are cool with you. We started our Dynasty draft yesterday.
You got all your sleepers in there?
Who is it?
David Montgomery.
Are you serious?
The live chat's going nuts right now.
What is wrong with you? Open your fucking head. Use my glasses, assholes. I'm gonna fucking destroy this league. It's a wrap.
I am part of this league.
Brett, arm sleeve tattoo, sucker, chase my god.
That nigga's gonna get 300 fucking carries. Is it more likely that Josh Jacobs can handle 300 carries?
I have tequila sweats.
It was yesterday or 2 days ago.
Feels like
I don't know, but it's cooking, man.
Man, it is cooking right now.
It's been a good one.
We are ripping through the rounds thus far. We're 3 rounds into it. We're at the 403 currently. So basically, we're just gonna talk about our thoughts on the draft so far. Good picks, bad picks, bunch of the trades. As you could see on the screen right now, the board is just riddled with trades.
Yeah, good luck trying to follow along with whose pick is actually whose pick.
Oh, you could look at mine and Nick's squads and just be like, wow,
Those guys don't trade. They're just really good. Yeah, I actually did trade up for the 4-1, so I missed my 4-10. But the first 3 rounds.
Team and see who I picked.
Yeah. Anyways, this is what we're going to do today. We're just going to go over the draft. This is a real startup draft. The settings are Superflex. It is a tight end premium, half PPR. So tight ends get a full point per reception, and the rest is pretty standard outside of that. Within the draft, we have us 3. We have Scott, who's editing the video you're currently watching right now. You have Mike and Noah from Bunk Bed Breakdowns.
Let's go. Let's get it. What it do?
And you have a bunch of the dudes from the NYC draft vlog, which we will link down below if you want to go watch that shit. So we got a good squad together. It's going to be a really, really fun league as the years go by, I'd imagine.
Some sharps in this league. Got to be careful.
I know of 11 of them. That animal guy, though.
No.
That fucking animal guy.
Don't do me like that.
Maybe that's, maybe we don't have to start with that, but I can't wait.
We'll get to it.
Oh, yes, we
We'll
will.
get to it.
The trades?
Everything.
One specifically.
Just all of it.
Okay, so unsurprisingly, well, actually, one of my favorite parts of posting the board today was showing people that Mike had the 101 and then he traded it away. And one of his points of emphasis over Bunk Bed Breakdowns the last couple of weeks were the fact that he keeps seeing people talk about trading Christian McCaffrey. Is he in his sell window, which is a ridiculous statement to start with. But Mike's been very adamantly against the idea of trading Christian McCaffrey in dynasty leagues right now. Speak on it, Mike.
All right. You need to sell CMC so you don't miss the sell window. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
That's all I have to say on this, okay? Look, no disrespect because, look, I mean, I'm sure there's smart guys in there that are
hella disrespect.
That are crunching numbers out there, but fantasy just doesn't have to be hard, guys. It just doesn't have to be hard. But for some reason, people love to make it hard. Like CMC is a once-in-a-decade type of a fantasy asset, and I often compare him to Marshall Faulk or I compare him to LT. Are you trying to fade this once-in-a-generation asset? It boggles my mind that people worry about winning trades more than winning championships. If you have a championship roster with CMC on it, you better fucking give me your firstborn, your secondborn, and be willing to chop off your dick because I'm not going to sell him for anything less than that.
And then he goes ahead and, for better or worse, trades Christian McCaffrey because he had the 101. Yeah. He did move it for, I believe, a 2nd rounder, a 5th rounder, and a 2021 first. So, I mean,
good return.
The value is there. We'll see what players fall in those spots. I always think it's fun looking back and seeing
Like, would you rather have Christian McCaffrey or these guys that you got here?
Right. Yeah. Would you rather have Christian McCaffrey? Would you rather have, like Devontae Adams, fucking DJ Chark, and next year's 2021 first? So that gets you a little bit more acclimated with like the value of the trades that go on in the league. So I was sitting there at the 103, and I was ready to trade back because I thought C-Mac would go 1. I thought Saquon Barkley would go 2.
I thought Barkley was going 2.
Super, super, super happy that John traded up, took Patrick Mahomes at the 102. He said that someone told me that he doesn't have any Mahomes anywhere invested in any of his leagues, so he wanted to diversify the revenue a little bit.
Diversify the revenue.
Took Patrick Mahomes, so I was ecstatic. Within about 3 seconds, I took Saquon Barkley. This thing's
that was like the easiest pick you've probably will have to make this entire draft.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So Saquon at the 103. Pierce traded up to get his boy Lamar Jackson. Business as usual through the 105, and then this is where things get interesting.
Well, yes, hold on. Just a quick note. Kyle was the one to trade with Mike for C-Mac, and then he wound up getting
very good point.
Elliott at the 105, which is a pretty damn good duo, if you ask me.
That's scary. That's going to be tough to beat on a week-over-week basis. He's got a floor of like 50 points between the two of them. C-Mac, Zeke, we'll have to see if the juice was worth the squeeze, because obviously when you trade up, when you have multiple picks in the top 5 of a startup,
you
that
don't
means
have any other picks.
You gave up your future, or you gave up a lot of depth in order to make that happen. I went into let's talk about the mindsets going into the draft. Actually, let's pull back a little bit. I knew that there would be a lot of fucking craziness and commotion going on, just because the Big Dogs community as a whole is just fucking so trigger and trade happy. It's out of control to this point, and I knew that would be the case in this one. So I was like, I'm going to keep a level head depending on what happens with the 103. As soon as I got Saquon, I was like, cool, I got the anchor for my team. I'm just going to draft the best players available. After that, I didn't really go in with a strategy in terms of like quarterback, or we found out our draft order 24 hours before the draft kicked off. So from there, within like 5 seconds, we had a trade. Yeah, everyone's like, my trade's on the block. It's like, yes, we know. Everyone's trade is on the block for every fucking pick. We understand. Also, if you do want to join a Big Dogs Dynasty Startup League, you could do that on Discord, which will be linked down below. It is our free fucking basically chat forum. We got like 2,000 members in there, always starting Dynasty Leagues. I think we got 60 of them fucking kicked off already. If you've never done Dynasty, that's the place to start. What were your guys' thoughts going in?
I mean, from the 11th spot, I was really considering going QB and with Murray and Deshaun Watson.
Think it was a really good idea you didn't do that.
I am very happy I didn't either, and I'm glad Mike took Deshaun Watson, the next pick after Murray. So after that I really didn't have a strategy. So you were just talking about diversifying. I haven't had CEH in any leagues of my own either. So at 202, I was going to either take Clyde or Jonathan Taylor, and Animal, you made my decision easier by taking Taylor right before me. So, no real thoughts, that just picking good players.
I think you would have regretted going double quarterback early, just because
the way the rest
you just wouldn't have had a running back.
No, I know.
The rest of your skill positions would have been fucking disgusting.
Correct. They would have been awful, and I did want one. I did want a quarterback there, so
good pick.
So
I couldn't have been more wrong on Lamar Jackson. So I figure don't double down on a similar type quarterback, and Kyler Murray I'm very high on him, so I took him.
So Animal.
All right,
before you made any moves, don't talk about the trade process.
I'm going to tell you the plan.
Yeah, you had the 107?
I had the 107.
Okay, let's hear the plan.
The original plan. So at first, I wanted to do my normal trade back like I always do, but then I was looking at the board and
you always do.
You've
done one Dynasty League.
I really thought I could get Zeke at the 1-6 and then Kamara at the 1-7. I thought I would be able to have a Zeke, Kamara, 1-2 punch, and that was going to be part of my four-headed running back monster. I was
Wrong.
4 running backs right away. That was my strategy. 4 running backs, 4 elite running backs, and just fucking run the table with them for the next 2 years, because wide receivers don't matter. But Zeke went at the 1-5 and threw a big wrench in my plan. So I ended up.
I think this is where you completely and utterly fell apart.
Yeah, exactly. This is what happened. So I took Zeke because I took Kamara because it was one of my guys that I was going to take no matter what.
Okay, so Kamara, were you not influenced by that just being so on brand for you?
Okay, so without further ado, let's go! Animals Planet. You are on the clock.
Oh, yeah. You just do not look good.
Ooh, but I feel good, baby.
Ew.
He represents you guys, right?
Alvin Kamara.
I'm not mad.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's really good.
I wanted him anyway, but I was going to take like Zeke before him. He wasn't my running back one at the time.
Okay.
I wanted Zeke first.
So it wasn't because we were
I
all
had
like,
one pick
it wasn't
and they're both
because,
there,
yeah,
I
it's
would take
obviously
Zeke.
Zeke.
It wasn't because we have showed you that GIF of you ripping your chest and saying Alvin Kamara.
I did that because I do like Alvin Kamara.
He's a
so
good player.
There's some truth to
He's a
it.
good player.
It's not bad. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting.
What happened next is some.
I would like to
managerial-
explain this because you're going to be biased towards
You
yourself.
100% are.
You guys aren't going to tell the true
So
story.
you will have your
Please.
rebuttal
Yeah,
afterwards.
please.
So animals,
Mike down.
Animals sitting there at the 107. You traded up for the 106. So you're at back-to-back picks, 106, 107. He takes Alvin Kamara with the 106. He's sitting there at the 107. He tells us, "I want to draft Joe Mixon." Joe Mixon still left to be drafted. He starts getting in talks with the person who's at was Chris at 108, 110?
No, he
thought
had
he was
the
7.
1-8.
Okay, so he had the 1-8. Animal sitting on the clock at the 107. Joe Mixon available. Animal wants Joe Mixon. He starts talking to the 108. The guy sitting at the 108 says, "I want Joe Mixon." That's
quote unquote.
That's who I'm trading up for. Animal will tell you that he thinks he's like a psychologist over here. He thinks the guy is lying. So Animal trades back from the 107 to the 108, thinking that this guy who just told him that he wanted Mixon wasn't going to take Mixon.
Pure lying to
Chris,
his face.
in your defense, Chris, you're a fucking sweetheart. You're one of the nicest people I've ever met, to be honest with you.
I can second that.
And Chris would not lie to you about that. You don't know him.
I didn't know Chris.
He doesn't know Chris.
Do you think
I think everyone's a slimy snake.
Okay, fine, but do you
Before,
think maybe you
alright?
could have just like texted us being like, "Yo, what's this guy Chris's deal? Do you think he really wants Mixon or not?" And we probably would have said,
If you would have been like he
said
told
that,
Mixon,
he's not.
That's
he's
who he
taking
wants.
it.
Okay, so let me ask you. I actually feel like you did do that, and that's exactly what
It
I
was
told
after the fact. You said he's a straight shooter, and I said, "Shit, wish I knew that."
you. Okay, so what did you get in return? You moved back from 7 to 8, and what did you pick up?
Back, and I got the. I don't even remember.
I think you essentially just picked up a ninth.
I
right?
basically picked. I swapped. I moved up in the second, and I moved back in the first, and I got a ninth.
Okay.
I got ninth.
So that's not a bad play, except you didn't get your guy there. So
Yes.
So he trades with Chris. Chris tells him he wants Joe Mixon, and then Chris picks Joe Mixon. And Animal is like,
but can I-
fuck, he's
Devastated.
fucked up my plan.
Devastated.
Yeah. Just briefly, let me touch on why.
Okay.
So going into like any type of a trade talk, you don't assume that the person you're talking to is going to tell you who they're taking. You assume they're going to lie, and they're going to maybe like I have the pick before him, so I'm assuming first of all his name is Dalvin Deep. He's got a Dalvin Cook Abbey, so Dalvin Cook's on the board. I'm thinking he's trying to tell me to take Mixon, so I will take Mixon, and he can get Dalvin. Because why would he say, "Yeah, listen, I want Dalvin, don't take him," or like, "Why would I want Mixon, don't take him"? Nobody does that. Apparently, he does. So that was the big issue here. I thought that he was 100% taking Dalvin Cook, and I could get Joe Mixon the
You
next
thought
pick.
he was 100% taking Dalvin Cook based off.
That's
of
just been his sleeper name for 2 years.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
You should have done
That's
your
it.
research.
Yep.
If you're an NFL draft GM, you would just made a big
it was,
mistake for not
I
calling.
admit it was terrible managerial move.
Kyle was sitting at 105, and he has a Detroit Lions Abbey. Why do you think he didn't take like?
It's different. I'm talking about first round guys that could go.
Well, what do you
Dalvin
mean?
Cook easily going at the 1-8. It's very reasonable.
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, I'll fucking kill you.
Really?
So
Is that the right thing to be saying now?
So that would have been my favorite move of Animal's draft thus far, except the next
gets
pick
better.
he outdoes himself. So he's sitting there at the 108, wanting to kill himself because he didn't get Joe Mixon. What do I do? He takes Dalvin Cook. So he's sitting there with Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, and I want to fast forward. Right? Okay, so he takes Jonathan Taylor at the 201. He gets Russell Wilson at the 205. Great picks. I did whatever about those picks. So we're all together last night, right? We're hanging out, getting the table, playing Madden.
Oh well, I got a story for that too.
Max is throwing out little notes left and right, and you feel the depression creeping in on
And
him.
you just see the sleeper app open, and he's just texting people and sending the most ludicrous trade.
He absolutely hates his pick of Dalvin Cook. And we see, we get through the first round, we get through the second round, 301, 302, 307, 308. Derrick Henry still sitting on the board. And
Unbelievable,
if there's anyone that Animal likes more than Alvin Kamara,
It's Derrick Henry.
more than Layla Starr, more than Rachel Starr. Wow, I didn't realize both of them had Starr as their last name.
A lot of porn stars
Great
like
porn
Starr.
names. Yeah, more than any of the Stars, more than the Alvin Kamaras. It's Derrick Henry. And he's almost to the point of tears where he's like, I want Derrick Henry so bad. So he's like the guy who's on the clock, 309, who's we know is about to take Derrick Henry. Animal offers him Dalvin Cook for that pick, for Derrick Henry straight up, and getting an 8th additionally. So
and a 9. I got an 8, 11, and a 9 too.
You got an 8 and a 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so so basically in the rawness of it, it's the 108.
I gave up 80 fab though.
It doesn't matter. 80 fab again. 80 fab is fucking Quez Watkins
Nothing.
money. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So Animal basically gives up his first round startup pick to move to the 309 and picks up an 8th and a 9th. So
yeah,
just panic is setting
when
in.
you say the 309, it sounds a lot worse than when you say Derrick Henry. So I just want to preface on that.
It is what it is. But then it sounds so much worse when Dalvin Cook is a first round pick and you could have got more.
Cook, yeah, 100%. I traded Dalvin Cook for Derrick Henry, 8, 11, and a 9 2. Not a 3. We could say he was a third, but it's Derrick Henry.
But just the steps along the way to get. You're right.
Oh.
You're right. Like in that sense of things, at the
At
end of the trade, Derrick Henry 8-9 for Dalvin Cook. I honestly might even take that side for you.
Yeah,
I didn't know you got the 9th until right now.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the 8th. But the fact when you just look at the raw value, it's moving back from the 1 to the 3rd and just picking up an 8.
I paid more than I should have to do that. Like I had to pay an extra pick to move around because I fucked myself. And listen. This is why it's important to have a strategy and not go away from it in the middle of the draft. Like I didn't want Dalvin Cook at all; it wasn't on my board, and he was there. And I just
so if
felt
it's so
pressured.
important, why do you fade that theory
me.
every time?
That's why I'm doing a podcast, so I can tell you guys how to not
You also call
draft
yourself
your
a
team.
star.
Well, I mean, look at what I've done. It's pretty.
But it's
pretty incredible.
The steps that you take to got there.
Oh, I know. Listen, I was all over the place.
I never
Steps you-
consider myself a
Dynasty
sharp.
startups.
Either take to get there or took to got there. You have to use. I know we grew up in a town that didn't teach us English well. I should have said English good there. That would have been a fucking nice plan.
Look at us.
Yeah,
Look at us.
Who would have thought we'd been here? Look at
us.
Look at you. Look at us.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
You think we'd be here, Animal? Talking shit about your ridiculous picks? Okay, so you're sitting here. What's your squad right now?
I'm sitting here. I have Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Russell Wilson, and Derrick Henry.
Great starting
squad.
4. When is your next pick?
The 7-6
So you are going to miss out on the next 4 rounds, basically.
ish.
7, 8. You got a lot of capital later on, I
Yeah,
guess.
I also have 4 ninth round picks.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out when you get there. Have you moved any future picks yet?
Yes.
What'd you give up?
I only have a second and a third left.
Okay, so you already gave up your future first, also.
Yeah, I don't
think
care
that
about
needs to
that
be in there.
pick.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're bad at Dynasty because you don't care about future first. Snacks, you've been steady. I think you've just been straight shooting. You've been making nice picks. Let's talk about some of the maybe more surprising picks of the draft.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, we can get.
So I would say, I got to my spot at 210, and I hate to be the guy that takes the first tight end off the board. Like I really, I'm never the guy to do that. But I think George Kittle at 26 years old in a tight end premium league, like 85 catches last year in 14 games. I think he's gonna creep
top 5 wide receiver.
easily. Yeah, last year in this scoring format, tight end premium, he was basically, I think, the wide receiver 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to get the wide receiver 2 or 3, I think getting the tight end 1 is fantastic. So I love the Kittle pick there. From there, wow, Brett just went with David Montgomery.
Whoa.
At the 4-4.
Brett, are you fucking
He's a 5th or 6th rounder.
You guys can talk all the shit you want about David Montgomery. If you can't see the potential, he's like a fucking Barry Sanders.
Wait, why are you so mad?
He probably thought he could get him the 5th.
No, I don't want David Montgomery. We were just talking trade.
Okay. So we'll get back to that.
We'll circle back.
So Scott, having the rookie fever, never seen someone like rookies more than Scott, takes J.K. Dobbins at the 211.
Like I don't hate it, but I feel like he could have got him in like 4 or 5 more picks, and safely. You don't think?
Well, his next pick was at the 306. I don't think he would have gotten him there.
You don't think so? I do.
Maybe. It's really hard to tell.
I don't think anyone else was taking him other than him.
So we had J.K. Dobbins 211. I do think it's definitely the earliest I've ever seen him go, but that was just a guy that Scott obviously wanted, and he just figured
he has been.
Do you have him in Go Fade Me?
Too, right? Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
I know he has DeAndre Swift.
sure he does.
So yeah, I mean that's why I love my DeAndre Swift pick because I see Swift and Dobbins in the same tier, both of them being the guy next year.
And you got him
and
2
I got
rounds
him
later.
Yeah, like 13 picks later. So J.K. Dobbins goes 211. Joe Burrow, another rookie, goes 212. This is a super flex league, of course. That's too early for me. I think after those first 6 guys, this is what you're going to see in a lot of super flex dynasty leagues this year. Mahomes, Jackson, Prescott, Murray, Watson, Wilson. That's the 6.
Like this is one of those ones for me. Like I like Joe Burrow, but I'm not going to take him over like a Darnold or a Daniel Jones or something like that. Even if like you have to take him there, it's just not worth it to me. I'd rather get like a Darnold.
I would
2-3 rounds later.
I would take Burrow. Yeah, but that's not the question at hand. Like,
I just don't like the value there. You're
yeah, in terms of value, I wouldn't take Burrow at the 212 either.
In terms of value, the 4 picks in a row are suspect.
Dobbins, Burrow, Mayfield, Brett.
Mayfield's terrible.
Brett, yeah, the Mayfield at 301. That was like his starter price last year.
That might be the worst pick of the draft.
Brett, we need to have a sit down, buddy.
The second worst he may have just taken.
Like for the guy who traded back
I love
all these
Brett.
extra picks, like you definitely could have got Baker in the 4th.
Yeah.
I think he started off
like this pick that he just picked, David Montgomery, could have been Baker probably.
Yes. Yeah. Baker would have fell past Wentz, I believe.
Right, because you figure Tua and I don't know about Tua, but Josh Allen was going before Baker anyway.
Mm-hmm. So Baker there, Kenyon Drake. Drake's another guy that I think. So Pierce.
Not a good dynasty play.
Pierce is like with Animal, where going to be very, very top heavy, going to lack depth, going to lack future assets. Because Pierce traded up to the 4th spot,
the Rams
took Lamar Jackson. So his team right now is Lamar Jackson, Dalvin Cook, Michael Thomas, Chris Godwin, Kenyon Drake. But now he does not pick again until
the 10th
next year.
The 10th round, and I don't even know if he has a pick next year, to be honest. I think he's out of most of his future picks. So Pierce is going to be he's going to have like 4 or 5 studs.
Big time studs.
His team is going to downfall within 1 year or 2 years probably, and it's going to hurt pretty bad. So he's playing for right now, and I respect it. I think this is Pierce's first dynasty league ever, and this is a move that these are moves you would typically see from a first-year dynasty guy. You get so excited during the startup. You're like, oh my God, all these good names. All I got to do is give up a 1st next year, a 7th and an 8th in the startup draft this year. And when, again, going back to like looking at what you actually gave up in the trade in a player name sense, it looks a little suspect. So that's the way you got to think of these things.
It's just one of those things where you don't realize like how many great players are still going to be in like the 5th and 6th round.
And you don't realize how much
talent.
depth is important. Yeah. Because you think of it from a redraft standpoint. You just need your solid 8 guys, and you just need one little crack of luck and you're good for the season.
Like you're going to be able to get Julio Jones late 4th, early 5th, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like that's
it right there. Yeah. So
there's so much value in these 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds.
Yeah. So Kenyon Drake, a little bit questionable. I mean, we're not going to dive into his outlook for everything, but again, next year he's going to be 27. 27
age,
over the age.
I think Chase Edmonds breathing down his throat, and then you got air raid offense, D-Hop there now. Like it's just too many.
Yeah, he's going to be good for 2020, but like we don't even know if he's going to have a contract past that. So that makes it a little bit questionable.
You know what? For Pierce, 2020 may be the only year. So
yeah. So I guess go for it. Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to look at it. And the next pick, I had DJ Moore. He was, if you guys watched, I love that pick. I waited until Tuesday to drop my wide receiver rankings video because I didn't want like fucking Brett or someone look at it and be like, oh, I really want DJ Moore actually. So I waited for today. I waited to make this pick and then drop the wide receiver tier 2 rankings video. I am fucking all in on DJ Moore. Yeah. I think I really
100 receptions.
Easily. He had 85 last year with shitty quarterback play and only played like 13 and a half games. There's no way he doesn't go for 100 and 1,500 yards, 6 to 7 touchdowns.
Receptions easy.
Yeah, so I love the DJ Moore pick. So I've been spreading. I'm happy I did this. Now I have my RB1, I have my tight end 1, I have my wide receiver 1, and it gives
an elite player at each position except for quarterback right now.
It gives me flexibility to kind of do what I want over the next bunch of picks. I do have to obviously pick up a quarterback, but I'm really happy with how my draft started off. No more real big surprises here. Noah made his first pick at the 307. He's basically been swapping picks, moving around.
Noah has all my picks. Basically.
Noah's fucking literally. Noah owns your life right now.
Literally. I mean, you guys say that. That's great. Like, he's got my picks. He has no players right now. He has Mark Andrews, and that's it. Like, he's going to make picks. Obviously, he's going to have players, but
this is not. I'm not saying he's going to be contending for this year, but
I
now
don't see him contending.
Noah has a 3-7, and now he's going to have the 4-6, 4-7, 4-10, and then he has back-to-back picks in basically the next 5 rounds.
He's gonna have
a lot of depth.
Have a good team. Yeah,
he's gonna have a lot of good players there. So it's an interesting strategy. It's so funny, like just looking at people's strategies as they go. You could tell who I feel like goes into it with a plan, and who like Animal just like panics and starts trading throughout.
Well, Noah's doing my plan right now.
Yeah, he's just doing it successfully.
Yeah. Well, that was my original plan because I listen. I know about the value in the 4, 5, 6 rounds.
Yeah.
So I always, when all my dynasty startups I've ever done, I always try to, get a lot of picks in those rounds and stack players.
Yeah, like I'd love to have 4 4th-round picks right now.
Oh, that would be sick. Kidding me? Yeah, especially because I didn't realize how far some of these guys were going to fall. Like I never thought I'd be able to get Derrick Henry at the 3-9. I had him on my board at the 2.5. Almost took him there. 2.10 was maybe I thought that's.
Yeah, I'm shocked he fell to 3.9.
3.9 is far. Like,
if DJ Moore was taken in one of the 2 spots before the Moore pick, like I was telling you guys when I was on the board at 2.10, I was like, there's 2 guys I want, and I'm probably not going to get both of them. So I'm going to go with the guy that's most likely to get back with me second. So I took Kittle, knowing that he wouldn't have made it past the turn if I didn't take him. Had DJ Moore gone off the board, I probably would have taken Henry at the 3.3. Because I'm more of a, I know a lot of people are like, hey, he's kind of getting older too. He doesn't have the contract. The Titans have just shown that that's who they're building around. Yeah. I can't imagine
that's how they run their offense.
Yeah, I can't imagine they don't
in the foreseeable future. So
yeah,
I can't imagine they don't. They don't extend him or give him like 2 or 3 years.
Dude, if they franchise him tag another year, I'm not the one who deals with it. That's Derrick Henry's problem. As long as he's on the field.
Yeah, you're going to get 2 top 5 years out of him for sure over the next 2 years. So that would have been a nice little piece there. But I'm glad I got to build with youth. Speaking of youth, the 4-1 got to the board, and prior to the draft and prior to the landing spots and stuff, DeAndre Swift had been my rookie RB1 since fucking February, March, whatever. I think he's the most all-around talented back in this class. Obviously, he lands in Detroit, but in the 4-1, man, I don't have any shares of DeAndre Swift in my dynasty league. So I was like, I want to trade up. I want to get my guy. Austin Eckler was still on the board, and he's going to give better production this year and probably would have helped me compete a little more. But at the end of the day, like I look at Swift as a long-term investment. I'm fucking happy to have him on my team because I already have Saquon, anchoring my running backs.
It's a good pick for you to still, compete and keep your future bright.
Yeah.
That's why I went with Jonathan Taylor, the same thinking. Like, I want to be able to compete, but I want to actually have some youth.
Yeah. So I'll touch on the trade that I actually made to move up. So I had the 4-10 in this round, and I gave Brett the 4-10. He gave me that 4-1. We swapped 10th and 14th rounders. So he moved back 9 picks in the 4th. He moved up 2.5, 3 rounds, whatever it was, from the 14th to the 10th. And then we swapped next year's 3rd and 2nd. I got his 2nd. He got my 3rd. So there's a lot of swapping going around. That's kind of the way you have to play these things. Like a lot of times you're just moving up from the 5th to the 4th round, giving up a 7th, and like next year a 2nd or some shit like that. So I'm really happy with the trade. I landed my guy DeAndre Swift, and I'll be up on the board at the 5-3 in about 10 more picks. I'm probably gonna have to get my quarterback 1.
Can we rewind a little bit to the second round here? Something we kind of just glossed over. It's not a huge thing. It's just, for me, it was more like a personal ranking thing. How do you feel about Miles Sanders going the pick before Nick Chubb?
I don't like Miles Sanders in Dynasty. I just don't like him.
How? Why? Give us one reason.
I'm not going to waste an early round pick on a guy that's not the guy.
Would you go Sanders over Chubb?
I go Sanders over both the rookies that went before him.
Yeah, well,
I like Sanders that much.
I'm not anti-Miles Sanders.
But are you sure?
Well, no, listen, everyone thinks I hate him. I don't hate him.
I don't like Miles Sanders in Dynasty. I just don't like him. He's not the guy.
You didn't want him at the 311. You hate him.
I'm just not high on him.
That is grounds for hatred.
As the rest of the fantasy community.
Well, I'm very high on Sanders, but I mean,
would you go Chubb over Sanders?
I love Nick Chubb.
I'm taking Sanders over Chubb.
Yes.
Can I flip a coin?
No.
That's how close it is to me.
So I would have taken.
At the end of the day, I would take Nick Chubb. Yes.
I think I would take both those sophomore.
But I don't think it's egregious.
Both those sophomore running backs before both rookies. I would have taken
I was saying it last night. I really.
If I was at the 12, I would have went Sanders Jacobs.
I almost went Chubb instead of Taylor, but I just said fuck it. I'm taking Taylor because I want the youth.
Well, when I took Claude, I was debating Chubb and Jacobs, but
I'm just curious.
I wanted Claude somewhere.
I was curious where Miles Sanders was going to go because of all the hype that's been going on.
I knew he was in the big dogs league. Oh, we have the ADP, by the way, from the 60 leagues now. We have the actual big dogs. Yeah, Mike sent it to me. That will be available. We have collected, I told you guys earlier, from the Discord channel. We've put together 60 leagues. I think like 55 of them are paid. So this is real ADP. This is the best source of ADP you're probably going to find in the industry because everyone else fucking does weird shit with it and hides it, and you can't fucking find it anywhere. Our ADP is from the Discord leagues. Mike put it together. I shout out to Westron. I believe he helped you with the API and figuring out how to actually get the numbers calculated and whatnot. That will be in the draft guide within the week. So if you have not copped the draft guide yet,
get that shit.
Get that shit.
What the fuck are you waiting for?
BigDogsDraftGuide.com. It's on there for pre-order price because the season-long guide is available July 1st, but the Rookie Dynasty Guide is already available. If you are in a state that's eligible to play DFS, FanDuel, DraftKings, or whatever, then you can purchase this through Monkey Knife Fight because they are sponsoring the draft guide this year. BigDogsDraftGuide.com/MKF. When you deposit on there, website using promo code BDGE. You will get access to both the Rookie and Dynasty Guide, which will have our rankings, which will have the fucking ADP from these startups. It's got prospect outlooks for all the rookies on there. Tons of exclusive videos, which we put out every Friday in the guide. Tons of exclusive articles, and then everything in the season long. So use promo code BDGE on Monkey Knife Fight. You'll get access to fucking everything. It's literally the best fucking piece of value you can get in the fantasy football industry.
Make sure
this year.
you play a game after you deposit so you can get the actual draft guide. It won't register until you play a game. So just take a $2, put it on anything. It doesn't matter. You want the draft guide.
Exactly, yeah. I usually leave that piece out. A lot of people ask me. Once you deposit on Monkey Knife Fight, you play a game that's at least $2. They'll send me an email verifying that you did, and then I give you access to it, and you'll get an email from me.
Bang, boom.
Scott to fucking gift that out right there. Hey. All right, so we were talking about the sophomore and I just think, like, at the end of the day, they're all good picks, and I think, like, building your team around the core of young running backs is never a bad idea.
No,
because we're seeing how. I mean, listen, we're midway through the fourth round. And the only running back left that's even like semi-appetizing is probably Aaron Jones right now. And none of us really feel that good about him in Dynasty.
No, he's nothing.
But when you look at the wide receivers, like, holy shit.
There's going to be a big wide receiver run.
And see,
this fourth to sixth round is all wide receivers.
Where you were talking about DeAndre Swift and saying Austin Eckler was still there on the board, and he's going to probably give you more production this year. I was the next pick. And, you know, I had Clyde, I had Kyler, I had Travis Kelce.
You wouldn't have taken Swift if I left him there, right?
No. Only because I just didn't want him in both.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, bugaboo. So, I don't like Austin Eckler. I'm sure everybody's heard that a million fucking times. It's not so much I don't like him the player.
It's like a personal thing.
Yeah, I don't like him the person.
I smell a Dalvin Cook situation.
No, not at all. I'm not, like, this is the fourth round, not the first. It's not a regret. It's not a regret.
I see the regret in his eyes.
I don't regret it.
Snack's going to be tearing up like usual by tonight.
You actually hate that pick.
I really don't, no. I don't.
I
promise you I don't hate
that pick.
Big mad. Okay.
Think what you want, you fucking slimy idiots. I don't hate the pick.
Why are we slimy?
Well, I'm looking at his hair and it just looks so greasy.
I was going to say, I look fucking good right now.
It might be, yeah. I mean, you look good.
Grease action.
Getting a little gray.
You got greased up in Madden last night, though.
Oh, yeah. Can I just...
We don't want to bring this up. People don't want to hear about Madden. This is fantasy football.
Because it's part of the story. It really is. Animal was a broken, beaten, battered imbecile last night.
This was
pre-Derrick Henry.
Pre-Derrick Henry.
And he's just so upset. And for the last few weeks, so I guess a few months now, we've been doing a little Madden series. And Max was up 3-1. And I told him I'm going to win 3 in a row. No shot. No shot, man. No shot. Whatever. I beat him the first game naturally, so it's 3-2. Then we play again.
Naturally. You won on a last-second field goal.
Then we play again.
Spanked me.
And I decide to play with the Arizona Cardinals, random, because I wanted to play with Kyler Murray, my first-round pick, and it all just worked nice. He gets the Giants. So this diabolical asshole thinks he's going to bury me with my own team. And you know what? He was looking good. 24-0.
So
24-0 he was up.
First of all, the first play of the game was like a 90 or 75-yard Saquon Barkley touchdown.
15 broken tackles.
The first play of the game was fucking incredible.
It was
terrible.
Yeah.
And that's why you picked him, so you could play with Saquon.
Yeah.
Because he's like an unstoppable force.
Yeah, I mean, you don't pick the Giants for any other fucking reason.
You could Danny Dimes.
Didn't pick it for Danny Dimes because Danny Dimes fucked me.
No, you fucked yourself. So anyway, I just want to wrap up.
Get to the end of the damn
I am going to get to. So I come all the way back. It's 30-24. I got the ball with about a minute left, and I scramble with Kyler Murray. He fumbles it. Animal takes it all the way down, picks it up, takes it all the way down to my 1 yard line. First and goal from the 1 with about a minute and 6 seconds left. I do have 3 timeouts, so if I stop you, it doesn't matter. Even if he kicks a field goal, 2-possession game. Instead of running the ball with the best player in Madden,
Pete Carroll's this shit.
He Pete Carroll's
to an exponentially.
He drops back with a rookie quarterback, darts it over the middle, trying to squeeze it to Evan Ingram. I jump in front, user pick the son of a bitch, run it back to the 40-yard line, bleed the clock to a little cunt of an inch. Then I punch it in with Kyler Murray, and we win 31-30. And his quote-unquote, I'm broken.
I heard you from in my room. I'm crumbling. I was fucking cracking up.
Having a meltdown, dude.
And then you went back to the sticks, and then it's like 2 a.m, and I finally fall asleep, and all I hear is, "Yeah, I did it! I did it!" I'm like,
that's when the Henry trade went through.
Henry?
At like, at 2 a.m.
He's like, what? Like, I fucking got Henry.
I woke up and I looked at my phone to see trade is completed. I was like, there's no doubt there's anything besides Derrick Henry's now on the Animals team.
I told you guys I was gonna.
How are you gonna not run the ball with Saquon? Like Saquon.
It's unstoppable.
Saquon in Madden 20 is almost like Michael Vick in 2014.
Literally.
He had an all-out blitz called, so it looked like I would just easy toss.
And what do I
matter.
do? Drop back with the linebacker. As soon as I saw the
back.
offensive lineman stand up, read my football cues, bam.
I should have fucking lobbed past it, and I didn't. I bullet past it, and.
So you made me beat my Giants in an epic collapse. Well, the series is 3-3.
Yeah. So that was our Madden adventures. Maybe next time we'll Twitch it. So Twitch.
Good idea.
Twitch.tv/BigDogsFantasy. Go follow us there, and we'll have our fucking Animals epic meltdowns live on air.
You can watch him cry
for you guys to enjoy. Yeah. All right. So we're sitting here at the 405. We just saw David Montgomery go off the board. This is about the time where Brett is just starting to melt down. So he took Baker at the 301. I told him we were going to talk a whole lot of shit about him. So Brett.
Oh, okay, good.
Brett, here it goes. Yeah. So Brett, I mean the beginning of your draft, not. Actually, wait. When was your first pick? Okay, so you had Miles Sanders at the 203. I don't hate that. Baker Mayfield at the 301.
I think he did everything right, like with trading back and whatnot,
and then
getting
wrong.
picks, and then picked so wrong.
That's the only problem with that strategy is if you don't nail your picks. I mean, it's like anything. Obviously, it's not like.
How are you going to take David Montgomery over Aaron Jones right now?
I just don't see why you traded back this far, like all these picks, and you're gonna take David Montgomery now, like this early.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not like that early. It's just I feel like he could have got.
No, but he could have easily taken him at. Noah just fucking texted me. He goes, that D-Mont pick. Love it. So because he had not only the 404, but he has the 410, mine, and then the 412. So he easily could have got David Montgomery. 100%. That's how you got to know. That's how you got to know the field, because the next bunch of picks are Mike and Noah, and Mike and Noah have been fucking vocal about not liking David Montgomery at all. So you know they're not going to take him. So he could have easily got him later on in that round.
Listen, that's
I wouldn't see Kyle taking him.
Know your league.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Know if someone's a straight shooter or not.
How could someone in this league? This is the notorious league where Lucas went on camera and had that whole fucking spiel about. He took David Montgomery in the second round last year of our redraft league.
David Montgomery win me.
Are you serious? He wants who he wants.
And he said he would have taken him in the first.
Yeah, he ended up going like 1-13 last year.
I love you,
and like that was like one of the most famous clips of that entire vlog.
You guys can talk all the shit you want.
Was he take his glasses off? Or
He's like, you guys don't see that he's Barry Sanders?
If you can't see the potential, he's like a fucking Barry Sanders.
He's like some shit like that. And then obviously he fucking flames out.
When you're use my glasses, assholes.
So no one in this league wants David Montgomery. No one wants to be the guy that takes David Montgomery.
I
Brett,
did, just like in the 7th.
Yeah, and with one of those 9th rounders, right, where you're getting all your studs.
Yeah.
Animal's so excited. He's like, you don't know who I'm getting in the 9th round.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all Curtis Samuel. They're all just gonna sit on your fucking bench, Animal. You stupid.
I'm gonna have fucking T. Higgins.
Good. That's another fucking bust. Terrible pick by you.
Man.
Anyone who takes
T. Higgins.
You're fucked.
All right.
Yeah, Mark. I was pretty shook by that.
Any surprises other than
Well, I think a lot of people were talking about D-Hop falling 3-4, but I don't think that's.
I think overall so far, I'm surprised. Crazy. I'm surprised we haven't seen more quarterbacks go off the board, and I'm surprised by the number of rookies that have gone off the board.
That's what I was going to say.
So basically, I mean, I took Swift at the 4-1, but you could pretty much say all the top 5 rookie running backs that everyone likes were gone in the first 3 rounds. Along with Burrow, along with Tua, yeah. So, the first 7 Superflex rookie drafts are off the board.
I'm very curious to, was this Austin who took Cam Akers? If he would have taken Cam Akers over Derrick Henry. I'm just curious. I mean, I just don't have him here to answer that, but, I don't see all I don't see the hype for Cam Akers.
No, he's been moving down my board pretty quickly.
A 100% running back by committee. Malcolm Brown is going to get a ton of carries there because he already knows the system. McVay likes him for some reason. I
would say Henderson's more of a threat, but regardless, the point remains.
You got 2 guys there.
They've been very vocal about it.
I just don't like.
I know a lot of people say coach speak, but at the same time, we've seen 7 reports over the last week or two.
It's not.
And
it's not good
you
looking.
saw them do it a little bit last year because they had that uncertainty with Gurley. Malcolm Brown got carries last year.
And whereas with Swift, I think there's a much clearer path to.
He's going to be on the field and catch probably a lot of passes.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's something too. I didn't even realize that. Akers went before Swift. I would take Swift over Akers 100 out of 100 times.
I would. Swift is over Akers for me. I think with Akers,
even on the Lions,
people are infatuated with his pure talent. Like he's got the workhorse size. He's a phenomenal running back, but he's put into a really, really bad situation.
They're just hoping he's going to come in and be the next Todd Gurley in that offense, and I don't.
But that offense isn't.
That offense is not
Todd Gurley was made by that offense.
Yeah.
He's a great prospect, but he was made by that offense.
Clearly think 20 other running backs in the league could have done what he did that year.
If it was like when Todd Gurley was, peak Todd Gurley, and he had 2 back-to-back years, if like he had got traded after that first year and then they took Cam Akers going into that situation, like that's when you get fucking crazy about Akers. But their offensive line is still absolute shit.
It's bad.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just look at the difference between the holes. You have pictures where there's literally like a fucking 4-foot hole for Todd Gurley to walk through, and then the next year those holes just closed up. So like running backs are important, but offensive linemen are importanter.
That's a really good
way to put it. Is that an adverb or a pronoun?
Whatever you want it to be.
That's just
could be a slogan.
It's just a moving. We have.
It's just an instinct.
A moving vocabulary.
What
moving
about
dictionary.
What about Big John's draft strategy?
What's he got so far?
Very wide receiver heavy. Has a great stack with Mahomes and T. Hill.
Mahomes, Tyreek Hill.
He's got Adams.
It's so hard to follow
D-Hop.
what the fucking boards are. Adams, D-Hop, that's a killer stack right there.
Really nice.
Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, DeAndre. The problem with, in my opinion, the problem with what he did, if you don't have running backs, you're basically not competing for a championship this year. And the wide receivers he has, the D-Hops, Devontae Adams, are the ones that are going to be good for this year and next year. But, by the time
the cliff is coming.
By the time he has the running backs in place to win that championship,
I think
those
right
might
now,
be falling off.
The best strategy in any dynasty startup is to fade wide receiver early and get the running backs.
Yeah.
If you can get at least one of those elite guys, you're already miles ahead of everybody, I think. If you can get a McCaffrey or a Zeke or a Alvin Kamara, you're doing so much better.
What the fuck happened to Saquon Barkley?
Saquon too, yeah, I guess.
He's not bad in Madden, right?
I guess you
I wouldn't run him on the 1 yard line, but
like you're gonna see in the 7th and 6th round, like wide receiver ones will still be available.
Yeah.
So I just think that if you're starting any type of a dynasty startup and you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. But you should hammer running backs early. They're
just not there. They're just not there once you get to the 4th, 5th round.
Early and often.
That's it. Yeah.
Like when I'm looking to compete year one, and you can't do that without solid running back play. Like wide receivers, sure, they're fun to have in your lineup,
they will
but
emerge. You're gonna have guys like you can get a guy like Denzel Mims in like the 10th or 12th or whatever, and he could be a wide receiver
more and more each year.
One day.
Look at this pass rookie class. Like these wide receivers are just bred differently now. They're coming in like a bat out of hell. So.
Ooh.
Snacks.
Like a bat out of hell.
All right.
It's great.
Fucking love Meatloaf.
So that's gonna wrap up the first 3 rounds and 4 picks. I think maybe next week we just run it back with the rest of the draft because
I feel like we should just kind of
continue doing this as we're doing it, right?
Yeah, because people are still going through their draft. So it's good to have reference.
It's good for them to hear too. So.
Yeah, because if you guys are competing,
this is real shit.
Real motherfucking. Our lives are on the line.
As real as it fucking gets.
I took an oath for this shit.
First place, $2 million on the line.
Shit, son.
Last place,
death.
That's why. That's why Snacks is
trading away my studs.
Why do you think Animals drafted so terribly so far? So yeah, you guys can follow along. We also we'll link the draft board. So there's going to be a link down below where you guys can just click on it at any time if you want to favorite it, bookmark it, and you. Oh my god, I didn't even see you fucking write that on there, you cunt. You can see the draft board, which will be updated real time. You can always share the draft boards on Sleeper if you're wondering. That's the app that we're using, Sleeper, for this draft. Again, if y'all want to join the Dynasty League, join the Discord. There's 1 million Big Dogs audience members in there looking to start Dynasty Leagues all the time. Hopefully, we're giving you some value.
At Yannick.
At Yannick. What does that mean?
Tag Yannick.
YONIC, right?
Yeah.
That was my favorite comment. Who's Yannick? That made me. Who's Sonic? Okay, that's all we got for you today. If I leave you with anything, go cop that Big Dog Draft Guide. Go join Discord. Go listen to the new YE Yellen podcast.
Please
the rating review would be beautiful. Please subscribe.
Stay safe.
Follow these two assholes.
Comment some stuff. I'll answer.
Do everything that you could possibly do. For the next 20 minutes, just fucking do everything.
Fuck our world up.
Every link we fucking put in the description.
Fuck this shit up.
Click
Like it and share it.
Love you. Bye.
Talk all the shit you want.